Okay, and hang on there, guys. We're just coming up. Keep the tunes going for a moment. Waiting for live video on Facebook. Still waiting for live video on Facebook. We are live on YouTube at the moment, but we're not live on Facebook.
Oh, we'll get there. It always does.
No, it's not coming up. So we're going to pause, guys. Come right back. I have to check and see what's happening here with the stream. Folks, we'll be right back to you. Okay, looks like we're coming up. Keep her going. And we're waiting for Facebook. Okay, we should be live.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paulie. Hey. How long is that intro anyway? Probably could be about an hour. So if I have more mistakes, we're good.
It's 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Awesome. Well, any longer than that, we don't want to be on the air, I guess. So, hey, folks, good evening. Had a little bit of a hang up there at the beginning, but now we are simulcasting. I was only getting a feed to Facebook or to YouTube, and now we're on Facebook, and now we're ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. Okay, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to our Sunday night offering of Astronomy Outreach, the Sunday Night Astronomy Show. First of all, I'd like to welcome back our regular co-host, Royal Astronomical Society of Canada member, Mr. Paul Owen from the Moon Shadow Observatory in Hampton, New Brunswick.
Hello.
Evening, Paul. Hello. And we've got, hello. And we have Royal Astronomical Society of Canada member, Mr. Mike Powell from the PFO Observatory here in St. John. Hey, Mike.
Good evening.
Good evening. And a big shout out to my brother Danny. Big shout out to my brother Danny, who tunes in every week. Hello, Dan. Good evening.
Hey, Dan.
And
Hey, Dan.
I think my grandkids are tuning in tonight, but if they are, Cedar and Ruby, Grampy loves you, and let's hope you're tuned in. So we'll find out here hopefully soon. Anyway, well, tonight we've got another full show planned here for you, and tonight's show has mostly just one topic, the upcoming opportunity for the Messier Marathon. We're going to talk about that mostly. We are returning to a new moon phase by next weekend. And soon after that, we usually get to the opportunity to see more of those faint fuzzy objects that we like to see that don't get washed out by the moon. On this particular month, we also get the opportunity to try and view all 110 objects of the Messier list in one night. I guess that's not possible from St. John to see, or from New Brunswick to catch all 110, but Mike says, or I guess you can get everything except for 3 or 4. Anyway, that's kind of a rite of passage for most amateur astronomers to try that challenge and see if they can overcome it. So we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. The Messier Marathon, basically when's the best time to start it, what dates to look at, which would be best for us this year, and what you need to do to accomplish it in a 24-hour period. Actually, it's just in one night. It's not even 24 hours. You start at dusk, end at dawn, I guess. So that'll be coming up. We also have another interesting Rosanna's Fun Facts episode for you tonight. Another What's New in Space segment for you as well. And we'll also take some time to share your wonderful photo submissions that you've sent in for the past week. And of course, we'll take all your questions on telescopes, binoculars, stargazing, and more. And we may even have some time later on. These guys have been capturing some live images right now. Paul and Mike are stacking some images as we speak. So we're hoping to be able to offer you a live view through the telescopes, some of the galaxies, some of the Messier objects that we're talking about here tonight. So we'll hopefully get to that a little bit later on. So sit back and enjoy, folks. And remember, this is a family-friendly live broadcast. So if you have any questions about the night sky, we're happy to try to answer them here for you. Right? Aren't we, guys? We're happy to try to answer them. Okay. Here we go. Well, somebody's happy to answer them. We'll get somebody out there in TV land that'll answer them for us. YouTube land. Going to say hello to Richard Hashi, Alan Burgess, Yves Saint-Germain, Lisa, Robert, Brian Lamb, Mike Powell. Sorry. Hi, Mike.
It's the other me.
Andrew Sabin, Brad and Donna Kraft, Stephanie, Jamie Wynot, and Dennis Gauthier, Kevin Reich. Wow, got a lot of people on here. Awesome. Okay. And we have Emma and Robert, Paul Crowder, Bruce Kasuji from Charlie Lake, BC. David Samard, Sophie, CDB 45 is on here from London, Ontario. Pip Lowe, hey, from Riverview, New Brunswick. And Ellen is here. Evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Wow, big crowd tonight. Awesome. Must be nothing to do. But can't be a hockey game on tonight.
There is, but not an interesting one.
Oh, okay. Well, that was last night.
I have stage fright now.
Was it even interesting last night?
Huh?
Was it even interesting last night, or?
Yeah, well, it was because it was the first time I got to watch a Habs game where I wasn't on the edge of my seat thinking, "Oh my gosh, when are they going to lose?" And after 4-0, I felt pretty confident.
Time to go to bed. Yep, roll up the roof. Okay, let's get started with what's new in Space Talk this week. I'm going to try to get through some of this stuff pretty quickly because we want to move on to the main topic tonight, which is the Messier Marathon, of course. So let me see if I can present now.
So this is like the bread before the meal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of. Well,
Makes you want to go. So what's
yeah, you might want to fall asleep during it. Maybe it's the dessert after the meal. Probably more like it. Okay, let's see what we got. Hey, we got a picture. Perfect. Okay. Well, organic materials essential for life on Earth are found for the first time on the surface of an asteroid. No, that's not the asteroid in that little dot in the center, but new researchers from Royal Holloway of the University of London has found water and organic matter on the surface of an asteroid sample returned from the inner solar system. This is the first time that organic materials, which could have provided chemical precursors to the origins of life on Earth, have been discovered on an asteroid. Now, the single grains of sand was returned to Earth from asteroid Itokawa by JAXA's first Hayabusa. Wow. I should have done my mouth exercise beforehand here. Mission in 2010. The sample shows that water and organic material that originated from the asteroid belt itself have evolved chemically through time. This study shows that the S-type asteroids, where most of Earth's meteorites come from, such as Itokawa, contain the raw ingredients for life. The analysis of this asteroid changes traditional views of the origins of life on Earth. Now, the success of this mission and the analysis of the sample that returned to Earth has since paved the way for more detailed analysis of material returned by missions such as JAXA's Hayabusa 2 and NASA's OSIRIS-REx missions. Both of these missions have identified special materials on their targets, Ryugu and Bennu, respectively. So that's material coming back, and we'll get more information on that very soon. Oh, I just dropped my paper. There we go. You can't see that part, but that's okay. Next up. Well, NASA's Mars 2020 Perseverance rover performed its first drive on March the 4th, covering 6.5 meters across the Martian landscape. The drive served as a mobility test that marks just one of the many milestones as team members check out and calibrate every system, subsystem, and instrument on Perseverance. Once the rovers begin pursuing its science goals, regular commutes extending 200 meters or more are expected. The drive, which lasted about 33 minutes, propelled the rover forward 4 meters, where it turned in place 150 degrees to the left, and then backed up 2.5 meters into its new temporary parking space. Now, upcoming events and evaluations include more detailed testing and calibration of science instruments, sending the rover on longer drives, and jettisoning covers that shield both the adaptive caching assembly and the Ingenuity Mars helicopter during landing. The experimental flight test program for the Ingenuity Mars helicopter will also take place during the rover's commissioning. That's going to be a cool little thing to watch that. The rover's actually going to back up. It's going to drop the helicopter, then back up 20 meters or something, and then film the actual flight. So pretty cool. Upcoming events and evaluations include more detailed testing. I already read that part. Through it all, the rover is sending down images from the most advanced suite of cameras ever to travel to Mars. The mission's The mission's cameras have already sent about 7,000 images. Wow. On Earth, Perseverance's imagery flows through the powerful deep space network, that's what's in the background there, managed by NASA's Space Communications and Navigation Program. Now, in space, several Mars orbiters play an equally important role. When you see a beautiful image coming down from Jezero Crater, it took a whole team of Martians to get it to you. Every picture from Perseverance is relayed either by the European Space Agency's Trace Gas Orbiter, NASA's MAVEN spacecraft, Mars Odyssey, or Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. Now, last year, astronomers were puzzled when Betelgeuse, the bright red supergiant in the constellation of Orion, dramatically faded, but then recovered. The dimming lasted for weeks. Now astronomers have turned their sights towards a monster star in the adjoining constellation of Canis Major, the Great Dog. The red hypergiant VY Canis Majoris, which is far larger, more massive, and more violent than Betelgeuse, experiences much longer, dimmer periods that last for years. Now, new findings from NASA's Hubble Space Telescope suggest the same process that occurred on Betelgeuse are happening in this hypergiant, but on a much grander scale. As with Betelgeuse, Hubble data suggests the answer for why this bigger star is dimming. For Betelgeuse, the dimming corresponded to a gaseous outflow that may have formed dust, which briefly obstructed some of the Betelgeuse's light from our view, creating the dimming effect. Now, this enormous red hypergiant is 300,000 times brighter than our Sun. If it was replaced the Sun in our own solar system, this bloated monster would extend out for hundreds of millions of miles between the orbits of Jupiter and Saturn. There's a scale view of our Sun and Earth's orbit compared to VY Canis Majoris. This is probably more common in red supergiants than, the hypergiant sheds 100 times as much mass as Betelgeuse. The mass in some of the knots is more than twice the mass of Jupiter. It's amazing the star can do that. The origin of these high mass loss episodes in both VY Canis Majoris and Betelgeuse is probably caused by large-scale surface activity, large convective cells like on the Sun, but on VY Canis Majoris the cells may be as large as the whole Sun or larger. This is probably more common in red supergiants than scientists thought, and VY Canis Majoris is an extreme example. It may even be the main mechanism that's driving the mass loss, which has always been a bit of a mystery for red supergiants. So similar to what's happening with Betelgeuse, I guess. And finally, Japanese fashion billionaire Yusaku Maezawa purchased the right to be SpaceX's first lunar tourist on a mission that's scheduled for 2023. But he won't be going alone. Maezawa bought all the seats on the flight and announced plans to choose 8 people to take the week-long trip to the orbit the moon with him, and 2 or 3 others. You'll have until March the 14th to complete pre-registration on the Dear Moon site before getting through initial screening by the 21st. Now, the trip itself will last some 6 days, according to the project site. It will take 3 days to get to the moon, 3 to come back. Once at the moon, the flight will loop around the moon rather than land, so a bit more like Apollo 8 than Apollo 11. Importantly, though, Dear Moon is not expected to actually enter orbit around the moon. I've bought all the seats, so it will be a private ride, Maezawa says. Well, among the potential trip highlights, Maezawa says there's potential to see an Earthrise when Earth is seen from the moon, rising like the moon or sun does in our sky. Unsurprisingly, there are a few more steps for potential candidates to take after that, but with the carrot of potentially visiting the moon in a few years, we expect there will be plenty of applicants. Maezawa says initially looked at bringing artists to the moon, but now says there are 2 criteria for potential trip mates. One, that they can push the envelope of whatever they do to help people in society by taking this trip, and that they're willing to be able to support fellow crew members in their ambitions. Now, SpaceX's CEO Elon Musk also appeared in the video, saying that the potential for safe transport appears promising by 2023, but given his relationship with deadlines, you might want to consider a flexible schedule as a 3rd criteria for joining in. And for those who are interested in registering, you do have until March the 14th, and there's the address. You can go on here and register. How would that be?
Well,
And he is taking 8 regular people, apparently.
Regular. Well, that counts me out.
Yeah. And that's what's new in space this week.
Wow.
So, yeah, we caught a trip a couple of years' time. The registration period ends on March the 14th. He's supposed to select the candidates or the astronauts by the end of June, and then it'll be a year and a half training. And
So
it'll be
you're
on.
one of the first tourists. Is that what would you be called a
Yeah.
tourist?
Well, you'd be called an astronaut, I guess, if you get into
An astro
Orbit.
tourist?
Astro tourist?
Astro tourist?
Could be.
Yeah.
Alice is going to be one of the first people.
Who?
Alice. To the moon, Alice.
Oh well. Oh, there might be a big audience on here that doesn't even understand that, Paul.
I was going to say.
It's a good thing we get a wide range audience because, like, oof.
I understand it.
Okay.
I'm going to send somebody to the moon. I know that. I got 60 shots stacked and an airplane just went right through the center of her.
Oh no! Awesome.
Well,
That's
one
always
day
fun.
that guy going through with his crew.
This is, honest to God, this is hilarious. Look at this. Check this out. You can't get better than this. Right through the. It stopped and had a blinking light on the way through right there.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? Is that a satellite or?
No, it's the other side of the airplane.
Oh, it is.
Right.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect timing.
Wait till we get 12,000 satellites up there. Another 12,000. Yeah.
They can erase most of that out of there. Well, that's an airplane.
Yeah.
Like, how is that going to be, Paul, when you're doing imaging and stuff too? Like, even NASA.
It's not an issue. It happens all the time.
Okay.
But the algorithms that you use when you're stacking your images, it takes it out because it just identifies it as an
Anomaly.
object. It's not there all the time. It's just a
Okay.
random thing.
Okay.
So it just identifies it randomly and it takes it out.
So not so bad for amateur astronomers doing astrophotography, but more so for scientists, I guess, say for large observatories.
Yeah, because they could be taking that one shot that could have just that movement of light, and at the same time that streak could go right through it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So from there, I guess we're going to start talking about Messier Marathon.
Marathon.
Yeah. Let's get messy, eh?
Let's get messy, eh? Let's get messy, eh? Wah, wah.
He was a
the
good
heck?
hockey player too.
What's that?
What's that?
He was a good hockey player too.
Oh,
He
messy,
was.
yeah.
Messy.
Yeah.
He was a bit messy.
He was. Man.
Hey.
Great Canadian, eh?
We're gonna
there we
we're gonna
go.
beat that one to death, guys. Let's get started.
Yeah.
Oh, look, people are starting to drop off already.
See,
Okay.
Stefan Picard knew it was the Honeymooners.
Somebody
Yeah.
remembered the
Somebody did.
honeymooners, yeah.
Somebody
Yeah,
did.
there you go.
There you go. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to talk
so
about
let's
the
talk
Messier
about-
Marathon.
Yeah. All right. Mike, do you want to kind of get started with it?
Well, excuse me. Right, just so my throat needs to be cleared. You say that, don't you? Every time I'm going to lose a lung in the middle of this show. It is that season. I mean, everybody's gone out, or a lot of people have gone out. And they've gotten all their Messiers. The point behind a Messier Marathon is to get them all within a 24-hour period, and that's done in the spring. Or coming up into spring. This is the perfect time of year, March with a new moon, early April, and the goal is to get out there before sunset, get your gear set up. Have your coffee with you, and you're going to need a lot of coffee because it's an all-nighter, and you are going to try to get 110 objects before the sun comes up. But you have to get the start as soon as the sun goes down, and everything in the sky, as we all know, rotates from east to west. So the biggest goal is to get out there, get set up, get ready to go, and when that sun sets, you want to get started right away. If you can catch an object, even when it's, there's still a little bit of light in the sky, you're ahead of the game, right? You want to get it and move on. Don't spend a lot of time on it. Don't sit there and sketch it. It's, yes, I got it, and move to the next object. Now, we don't want to cheat and lie. We want to say, yes, we actually saw that object. It might be not much detail, but at least you know it's a Messier object that you looked at, and then you can record you picked up that object. And so if your goal is to hunt down that 110 in that single night, you got to do them kind of in a specific order. Now, everybody knows Messier was a comet hunter and all of this stuff, and he had his scopes. His scopes, I'll just do a quick talk about that, were not as good as the scopes we have today. From doing a little research, I found out he used up to 11 different telescopes while cataloging all of his stuff. And they don't go by the same numbers that our telescopes today go by. They don't, it's not like a 114 millimeter, 500 focal length, millimeter focal length telescope. Yeah. He had an ordinary refractor that was 138 power with a 25-foot focal length.
Wow.
He had an acro refractor with a 10-foot 5 focal length that was owned by another gentleman, and that had a magnification of 120 times. So it was mostly by the magnification they were going by. Some of the one that really caught me was an ordinary refractor, they called it, 23-foot focal length with a magnification of 102. Wow. There was an ordinary refractor that was a 30-foot focal length with a magnification of 117. He did use a Georgian reflector with a 6-foot focal length and a magnitude of 110. Another Georgian reflector had a 30-foot focal length with only a 6-inch aperture with a magnitude of 104 times. He did use a Newtonian. It was a 4.5-foot focal length at 60x Newtonian reflector. And he had a reflector that was 1-foot focal length, 3-inch aperture, and 44 magnification. And after looking at all these different scopes, the comment was, all of the Messier instruments could probably not compete with a modern 4-inch refractor or unobstructed reflector or 6-inch Newtonian reflector today. So if you got a 6-inch Newt or a 4-inch acro, you got a better scope than Messier did, and he found all 110 objects, but he didn't do it in one night.
Right. Yeah.
So that was just a quick blurb on his scopes. Like I said, if he can find them, you can find them. So if you're going to start a Messier marathon, a couple of tips that I researched and found out, and I'm going to pull this in front of my face so I can't see you guys because I'm looking sideways here. You want to start right off the bat. After you're set up, you want to look for 2 dim galaxies right off the bat setting in the west this time of year, M77 and M74. Now, by the time the star gets dark enough to see these 2 galaxies low in the west, it's a good idea to limit the time spent on the first galaxy so you don't miss the second one. So again, don't spend a lot of time going, oh, there's a beautiful galaxy. I see it. I recognize it's a Messier 77. I'm moving on to 74. Those 2 are going to set fast. They're going to be low on the horizon, hard to see, difficult to catch. So that you want to get M77 and M74 right off the bat.
Mike, can I just interject? So when you're doing this, before you start, would you have like a checklist or something?
You do, and I'm going to show that when I get to this list.
Okay, sorry.
Immediately after you finish viewing those 2, you head for M33. That's a large face-on and spiral galaxy in the constellation Triangulum. And then N for Andromeda, and you'll get M31, 32, and M110. The goal is to get these galaxies because they're dim. You want to get them out of the way. And then when you get into the darker skies, you start looking at the other stuff. By the late evening, you should arrive at Virgo. There's 17 Messier objects in Virgo. You can break that down into little groups. You're not going to see one at a time. You're might see 3 at a time or 4 at a time, and you can pick off 17 of them pretty quick. Then you can kind of take a little bit of a break in the night because you want the stuff to get up high and south. After 3 a.m., you got about an hour or so that you can kind of take a breather, have a coffee. In my case, have half a pack of smokes and then get back at it. Just before sunrise, the final wave of objects are going to include M55, M75, M72, 73, and M2. They all rise at pre-dawn. The last object you want to get when you finish your Messier marathon, if you can get it, in the east as the sun's rising, is M30, and that's a bright globular cluster. That's why you want to look at the globular cluster last, because it won't fade out as the light comes up faster than a galaxy. A galaxy will fade out really quick, and this globular cluster will still be there. So that'll rise in the east just as the dawn starts to break. And if you can see that, you can get all 110, but probably not from around here. As Kurt said last night, a lot of guys have tried it, but nobody's been successful that we know of to get all 110 in one night. My biggest count is 86. So now you say, okay, how do you know what order to do them in, right? How do you know which ones are setting first, and how do you know which ones are rising first? I'm just going to share this page quickly. This is something I've talked about before. Where am I? I want to go to here and present now. Entire screen. I'm going to present this screen and then pull it up. Where'd you go? Here. And then I'll pull this up. Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
So this is known as the Ultimate Messier object log. And it is really good. When I came across this years ago, unfortunately, the guy closed his website, so you can't go directly to his website and download it. But if anybody wants to get a hold of me, or maybe I sent it out to the St. John Astronomy Club site, and it's posted there now, and you should be able to pick it up and get it. You can download it if you wish in this format, which is, I forget what it's called, FileMaker. Or you can download the PDF version and print it off. But either way, you're getting a Messier log like you've never seen. Just to start, I click on this one to enter notes. When you go to, it starts with the first Messier and then goes to the second one, and third one, and fourth one, and so on. Excuse me. But you not only get to enter your information in all these spots, but it also gives you, excuse me, I had to get out of this, didn't I? Just a sec. There we go. Gives you a Telrad circle on each of the objects and where they are in a constellation. So if I start with M1 and I scroll down, you can see here's Taurus, and it shows you right where to put your Telrad site if you're doing them manually. So this whole log comes with every one of those and a picture for every one. If I minimize a little bit here, you can see it and then go Messier 1, 2, 3, 4. It also comes with a picture of each item in the corner. So you're looking at M4, you're looking for a globular cluster. M5, you're looking for a globular cluster. And so on. M6, you're looking for, or M1, you're looking for a supernova remnant, and so on. You get back to the Messier Marathon, on the startup screen, down here at the bottom, you can sort by marathon. And I click that, and it tells you the order to start with. It tells you the whole order to go through them. Don't worry about the season part, because you're all going to do it in one night. If you were doing it separately and you wanted to wait and do them by season, you can. But for the Messier Marathon, there's the list. You want to start with M77 and 74, like I said. M33, move your way up to M32, M31, and M110. Right? You work your way through the rest of them. You go all the way down through the night. There's all those ones in Virgo and Coma Berenices. You can cover all of those off in a quick shot. Again, you work your way down as it's starting to come up and the summer constellations are starting to rise. You can see there's Ophiuchus and Scorpius are all coming up early morning. And then by the end of the day, you've got M30 down here. And that's the one you want to finish with, that globular cluster, M30. So it gives you the order on which to do them. And, or anyway, what they think is the best method of doing them. I don't know of any other one, but that's how you want to get them. The ones that are setting in the west first, and then the ones that are rising in the east last. But this Ultimate Messier log is wonderful. After you're done using it, you can go in, you can sort by picture view, and you can see what it looks like and click here, seen or not seen. You can sort by sketchpad. It offers you a sketchpad that you can bring up and draw your drawings of it at the same time. It's an all-in-one log that does everything for you. You can sort them out by what has been seen and what hasn't. Or you can sort by unseen, the ones you haven't seen. So if you've got a collection of them and you don't know how many you got left, you can go in and you can sort by seen or unseen, which is cool. You can sort by season, tells you spring, fall, early spring, late midsummer, what's the best time to get them. You can sort by Messier number, Atlas number, just about anything you want. And if you download it to a laptop, it even has a night vision mode, which is pretty cool. So, I mean, it is the ultimate Messier log. There's no question. It covers everything. It's all in one package. You put it on your laptop and away you go. But if you're going to do a Messier marathon, this is the software to have and the order to go. And you can print off these in sheets individually if you like. At the same time, you just go in, print off the sheet of 110, take it out with you, and you're ready to go. So it's probably what I found to be the most comprehensive system for looking at Messier and recording any Messier thing that you're doing at any time. But it does give you the opportunity to set it up and chase that marathon down, which tonight's topic is about hunting down the items in the marathon and the order to do them in. So what do you think of that?
Yeah. So I have a question, Mike. So I know earlier on we were talking about Messier's telescopes that he used. So in order to be able to see these objects, one would have to have at least a telescope.
They say you can catch them in binoculars, but I'd be hard pressed.
Yeah.
To think
I don't know about that.
Take binoculars with you, because when you look at Andromeda, you can't see the whole thing in the whole galaxy, and you might want to whip up a pair of binoculars. I don't know. I haven't heard or not heard if anybody's done a Messier marathon with binoculars. Yeah.
I was just thinking that if Messier had that many telescopes, and in order for him to find all these objects using, 100 times or however that magnification was, most of that stuff would be more powerful than most binoculars that we would use.
They are, but again, how did he see them too, right? There's a lot of things I've looked at in binoculars. Sure, it's more detailed than a telescope, but you can definitely make it out in binoculars, like open clusters and things.
Yeah.
Now the galaxies, I don't know. You get into that area with Leo. Some of those galaxies are small.
Well, if you look at the magnitude of certain galaxies, they're beyond what binoculars can do, because binoculars can get you up to about magnitude 9.
Yeah.
Or matter of fact, the galaxies I'm imaging tonight are all 10 and 11, so they're beyond what a telescope or what a binoculars could give you.
Can give you, yeah.
Because of the dimness and stuff in them, right?
Yeah. So Emma's on here saying, I would love that ultimate Messier object log. Pat Bacon says, I'd like to have it too, Mike. I did see that, who was it? Whose post has disappeared? Mr. Hashi had a post up here with all of the same order.
Yeah.
But Richard, but also if we wanted to go to the St. John Astronomy Club website, if I could share that just for a second, I can probably bring that up.
That was the other thing this log has. It tells you the magnitude of all the different Messier objects.
Right.
Yeah.
So that log is available. Just make sure I can get it up here. This one, I think it is. Yeah. So this is the St. John Astronomy Club page. You guys are seeing that now?
Yep.
Okay. So this is there's a whole pile of data on this page. It's fantastic. Jim Stewart has done an amazing job with this page. It has a lot of categories in it, but Jim updates this as new information comes up. Thanks for the post about the Sunday Night Astronomy Show there, Jim. But there's our March 6th meeting we just had last night, and then if you go down, scroll down through, this is Jim's presentation from last night. But here's the Messier Marathon list and guide. So above Don Macholtz, one of the founders of the Messier Marathon, which is at optimum during this month of March. Click to view his suggested Messier Marathon checklist, which was the one that Mike was, which is another one, but there's one just below that. There's the ultimate Messier object log right there in the PDF format. So you can download it right there, Emma, Robert, and Patricia. Whoever else was asking about it, it's all right there, right on the St. John Astronomy Club website. Free to download. So try it from there. Both these links. His checklist is right there. So that's what we were talking. I think that's the same list you had, Mike.
It's the same number. He just throws in a little bit of splits in there.
Yeah. So early evening, which ones you can pick up early evening, then what's in Leo and the Big Dipper, then after midnight, and then down early dawn. So that's all available right on the St. John Astronomy Club website now, as Jim just put that up yesterday. So thank you, Jim, for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I sent that to him this morning, so that's pretty quick to get that stuff up there.
Yeah.
That fast.
Yeah. So what's in that Messier list? I mean, we've got a number of spiral galaxies in there. A number of galaxies. We've got nebulosity. We have open clusters, globular clusters of stars. So the categories there cover everything in deep sky treasures that we're going to want to see. And they go from 1 to 110. So whether we're going to get to see a nice job for this. Mike, are there prizes? Mike, you got prizes to give away for this, or we're not asking?
Sure.
Yeah.
Pick me.
Yeah, you get to have a conversation with Mike for the evening.
One-on-one for the evening.
Yeah.
There you go.
We've got a lot of galaxies in there, a lot of globular clusters, a lot of open star clusters. So globular clusters are just big balls of stars that are bound together tight, or more tightly bound together by gravity. So we've got about 160 of those clusters that just orbit the Milky Way above and below us. And there are a number of them that we see in our summertime sky course, M13 and M22. Those ones are the big favorites, I guess, in the summertime sky. But this time of year, you've got a number of other ones that you can pick up as well. Then we've got the open star clusters, which would be similar to the Pleiades star cluster that we see rising in our evening now up by Taurus, which is looks like a little mini dipper to most people. I know a lot of people have asked me if that was a Little Dipper, but it looks just like it. It's only a miniature size, but that's Messier 45, so that's one of them right there. Those are open clusters, which are star clusters that are loosely bound together by gravity. And then you've got galaxies, of course, with 100, 200, 400 billion stars in each one. And then the nebulosity are places where stars are actually dying or places where stars are actually forming again. So that's the categories that you're going to be looking for. But lots and lots of nice targets there. And once you've seen a few of them, you're probably going to want to go back to these. You're going to rattle them off fairly quickly through that process for the evening. But it'll give you lots of nice introductions to the targets and things that you want to go back and maybe image later on or view later on when you've got more time, for sure. Robert says bragging rights. That is true, Robert. I guess that's the whole thing. Now, Sharon Greenlaw asked, could we get them from Graham and Ann? I think you'd have to be farther south than Graham and Ann, maybe even, to get them all.
I don't know, but if they were going to get them, that would be a perfect spot.
It would be a nice spot. It'd be nice and
Find
dark down there.
The highest spot in the island, yeah.
Yeah. So Sharon, we're just need to get your address so where we can come stay, I guess, for the weekend. Yeah. We'll have a star party and. Yep. Okay. Continue on.
The one that always confused me was Messier 40. If you've never looked at it, it's 2 stars.
Oh, yeah.
How do you know it's 2 stars? But as it turns out, you can spot them. When you look at M40, I believe it's a double star system, and they're 2 bright blue stars together. And you'll know it when you get them. But when I was searching the sky, I kind of figured, like, I'm looking for 2 stars out of all of this.
Let me see if I can get that one up, Mike.
Kind of like those constellations that are a straight line. Like, which one is it?
Is it this guy right up here? Yeah, so I have to drag this down to take a look. But there it is.
That's it. Yeah, 2 stars.
Yeah. So yeah, not very impressive, but I guess you knock it off the list.
But you know what? That particular, if you can find that, it's training your eye to look for shapes and look for a certain triangle beside a square, and there's the one you want.
Right.
Because when you're looking for a lot of these objects, they may not be apparent to you right away. But when you're looking at your planisphere, or if you're looking at a chart, the whole idea to find these things is to train your eye to look for shapes, and
Right.
then find within that shape where that spot should be. And then when you look up in the sky, it'll help you kind of guide you to where it should be. So if you're trying to do this marathon and you're not using a go-to telescope and you're trying to find it on your own, it's you should always do a little practice before going out and looking up in the sky, and just try to find the major constellations. And then once you know what the major constellations are and how they move across the sky, then a lot of these marathon charts will show you or tell you that it's in this constellation. So at least you know roughly what piece of the sky to look for, and then now you can start looking for those little shapes.
Yeah. And doing it non-go-to is better. I mean, it's more challenging, of course, but it gives you a better, okay, I found it kind of thing. But it's a time frame too, right? You have to understand, like, how much do you really know about the sky, and that can you star hop easily? And if you can, great. If it takes you a little bit more time to star hop, you might run out of time trying to capture them all visually in a night. But Renat's a silly question, but how are you sure that the object you're searching is the one you're looking for? Well, that comes with that other chart. So if I can find that again. I have a page on that? I did. This is the Messier object database page. Oh, you guys aren't seeing this, but I'm showing it to the crowd out there. It is being broadcast out, I think. Well, it's going out on YouTube anyway. Should be going out on Facebook. There it is. Okay, so this is the address. It's messier.seds.org and data2.html. So there's the list of all of the objects and what they should look like. And again, if you go back to that catalog that was advertised on the St. John Astronomy Club page, it has this same thing. So the one that Mike listed, the Ultimate Messier catalog, will tell you that this is what it should look like when you're looking at it, right?
And exactly where to look.
Right.
It'll give you a chart, and it'll give you a Telred around the actual object, so you'll be able to find them.
Yeah.
It'll be in your field of view either way.
So it is a nice challenge. I've never done it. I've always wanted to. I always get wimped out because of the cold. Probably more so now than I ever have. But if there were a few other people going out, I might like to go give it a try. And the good thing about it is that it's coming up this weekend. Next weekend is New Moon, so that's the 13th. So the 13th is Saturday. So you've got Saturday overnight into Sunday. If the weather cooperated, which it always does, but I mean, you never have an event that you can't catch, good weather. Like this morning, trying to catch Mercury and Jupiter when that one cloud was just one cloud. The whole sky was clear. There was one cloud directly in front of Mercury and Jupiter. And as soon as that cloud moved off, the sun popped up. It was like, oh, and I just went, oh, darn. Oh, golly gee.
You go there with two people with two scopes, you can team up. Let one person look for one object while another person looks for another one.
Absolutely, yeah.
Also, I want to mention that if you are going to go out to attempt a Messier marathon, it's a cool time of year. So you have to really prepare to be warm that night, and make sure that you have lots of water or something to drink so you keep hydrated.
Yeah.
And, obviously something warm and something to eat, because it's an all-night thing, and cookies and coffee it's not going to get you through.
No.
So you really need to have some nutrition, some water, and don't dress with a heavy coat and a thin T-shirt. Dress in layers so that as the night gets cooler, you can build up to that coolness. If you are near your car, keep a spare bit of clothes. So if you happen to get your feet wet, you get anything wet on you during a night out, and you're done, because you can't be comfortable anymore. And it's all about being comfortable for the whole night. So make sure that you do that, and also make sure that you bring along a red light, because once your eyes are dark adapted, you don't want to lose that adaptation. So if you have one of those planetspheres,
yeah.
Planispheres, if that's what you're using for a chart, you keep your red light there, because a lot of these dim things you're not going to see if you're using a white light. You shine it on your thing. Your pupils have now dilated again, and or they gotten smaller. So that means that you're not capturing as much light. So if you're going after a faint object, a faint galaxy, you're going to have to wait 15, 20 minutes before you get enough ability to see that. So make sure that you got your red light and use everything in red light once you start the marathon. So that, and I think that's about the only things that you need, other than your telescope set up obviously in the daytime, so that once you start getting things going, you're not trying to fumble through the dark and wasting time, because with this marathon, everything that you do could be about wasting time.
Right.
So if you're waiting for your eyes to adapt because you missed something, you may miss that galaxy, or you may miss this or that. You may have a certain cloud coming over the west, as they tend to like to do. All of a sudden, when you're looking for that one thing, and then it's gone, you don't have it. It's gone.
Right.
So anyway, so that's the thing. So just prepare, dress warm, get your charts, get your light, get your clothes. Make sure you get lots of hydration and nutrition.
Yeah, I would also suggest if you're not going to do it from your backyard or someplace close, that you get out. You've got a week now to get out and scout out your spot. Try to find a spot that's, the higher the better, because some of these are low to the horizon too. Try to make sure that you've got a good view of the horizon all the way around you if possible, and you're going to be into a dark area, as dark as you can, as you can get. The better, the darker it is, the more your eyes are going to stay dark adapted. You're going to be able to pick up these fainter objects easier. But of course, let somebody know where you're going to be. And it's always good to have somebody come by and check on you every hour, like with an apple pie or a dozen muffins or whatever, just to make sure that you're okay. So anybody like that, anybody out there like Emma or Pat or whatever, I can let you know where I'm going to be. So, or Trudy's on here too. Yeah, she makes cakes, so
Yeah.
that'd be good too.
Saying that, they let you do the Messier Marathon too now with GoTo Scopes, but I would suggest, if you can, do it manually. You're getting into some of this stuff, and if you kick your leg and move your scope,
Yeah,
it's better to know how to find the stuff manually, because the rest of your night's going to be done unless by the time you're done resetting everything and trying to get it with GoTo. You
absolutely.
might think it's convenient, but look around and try to do it manually. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Guys, we're at about almost 10 to 9. I can't believe it's gone by so fast. We got to get a few photos squeezed in here and a Rosanna talk, Paul, for this week. So which would you like to start with? You want to do a Rosanna talk first? Or?
Yeah, we'll do Rosanna there first.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, let me get that.
Anyway, don't forget to go back to the St. John Astronomy Club, sjastronomy.ca. Look on the main page. You'll see where those two charts are. Go down the menus on either side to the left and right side. There's tons and tons of information in there. So.
All right, so let me just get this all set. So
It's time for. Don't hear it.
I did this the last
Wait for it.
There we go. It's time for
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
There we go.
Awesome.
Yay!
Hey!
All right, so let me just get Rosanna's Fun Fact all set up here. Okay, so this week, Rosanna writes, she says, the march, or rather the quest, for population 3 stars is on. The term population 3 actually refers to the very first stars ever birthed in our universe, and they are ancient beasts of mammoth proportions, up to several hundred times the mass of our sun. Now, they live fast with lifetimes of only a few million years compared to the 10 billion year life expectancies of less massive stars, such as our sun. So a comparison made by Emma Chapman, an award-winning Royal Society Research Fellow, in her newly released book, First Light, Switching on Stars at the Dawn of Time, suggests that the same diversity of lifetimes would be similar to finding an early humanoid species that aged and died only 3 days after birth. Now, in spite of short lifespans, those stars that are the ones that are most responsible for changing the universe. And as they roared to life, they illuminate the universe, irradiating it from seeding it with metals that could be then form stars, planets, and of course us. So in our search among the stars, how do we determine whether a star was born 13 billion years ago or 4 billion? Astrophysicists determined that a star's metal content, as although it seems counterintuitive, the first stars were free of metal. So in our search among the stars, how do we determine whether a star is born? I just said that. So this is done by assessing and measuring what fraction of the star comprises a particular metal based on the strength of metal absorption lines in the spectrum and comparing that fraction to the same quantity in the sun. So there are many metals to choose from, but iron produces strong absorption lines, which are most measured by optical telescopes. And it is also a good indicator of overall metallicity as well. So we are searching for metal poor stars. The stars around us and forming today typically have an overall metal content of about 2% by mass, and only 2%, but that is considered metal rich. So, which metal rich stars on the isochrome of Cassie et al. 2006 showing the effect of adopting lower interstellar reddening and alpha enhanced temperature calibration. So we're trying to look way, way back past the population 2 stars to the epoch of the reionization era. So in 2018, SMS J1605 space 1443 was discovered. This megametal poor halo star has less than 1/1,000,000th of the solar iron fraction. This is exceedingly low, but don't hold your breath. Unfortunately, levels of other heavy metals are too high for this star to have created them all by itself. It had to have had help from a supernova. So in 2013, high-resolution spectroscopy of SM0313-6708 showed nothing much at all. The star revealed almost no activity and the presence of only 4 metals: lithium, carbon, magnesium, and calcium, and a flat line indicating an absence of iron. This is incredibly exciting, but is it a population 3 star? Unfortunately, no, but it could well be a first descendant. So the progress in stellar ecology. I gotta learn to read. Has been significant. The more massive the star, the shorter its life. So only stars 80% of the mass of the sun would still be around today. Spotting them wasn't easy, but the halo of galaxy is a good place to look. So the Indiana Jones of astrophysics continue to search the halos for glints of, but not of gold, but of iron. So there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that is this week's
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
Hey, awesome. Thank you again, Rosanna. Awesome topic. Yeah.
I wish you could read. One day I'm going to learn to read, Rosanna. And,
Don't make promises, Paul. We're going to keep.
Big tongue that I keep flipping over.
Like big dogs die sooner than small dogs. That's true or not? They do. They live a fiery, active life, and boom, they're gone. Party, party, party.
Whoop, there it is.
Yep. All right. We got another 5 minutes or so, so let's quickly get to some photos that were sent in last week. Thank you again, Rosanna, for that excellent topic. Always appreciated. Okay, where is my folder? Here it is, I think. Okay, let's see if I can get this right. I better present my screen. We'll share this one again. Okay, so I got to go, first of all, drag this one over here. Oh, no, hang on. Oh, there it is. 6 screens, and I still can't keep track of where stuff is. I have to go to 9 screens, I think, pretty soon. Okay. Yeah. Back to 1. Be more like. Okay. So here we go with the first photo. If I get. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. This one came in from Jamie Monat from last week. Jamie apologized for not getting that on the show last week. But she says, hi, this is Wednesday night's waxing gibbous moon. Of course, that was a week ago. As usual, I use my 10 by 50 binos on a tripod with the smartphone adapter and an iPhone 8. It was above zero that night and can't wait for more nights like that. All of us are the same. We all feel the same way, Jamie, for sure.
Mhm.
Nice
Beautiful.
capture there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that. We've got next up we have Kathy Adams. I'm going to zoom in on this one a little because it turned a little small. But
Oh, look at that.
Kathy says, I saw this right after the show last week and grabbed a picture. She said, love the clouds. And we do too. Awesome shot.
Beautiful.
Very well done. Thank you for that, Kathy. Okay, we got to keep going here. We got 16 pictures, I think, to get through. I'll have to minimize that one, I guess, first before it lets me flip. There we go. This one came in. I'm going to zoom in on this one a bit. This one's a little bit dark, I guess, but
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Krista Gilbert sent this one. Here's a shot I got of Orion, right
Yes.
side of the pic. Yep, she got Orion and also got Sirius in there. So
Yes. Beautiful.
nice target. Always a fun target, Orion.
Yeah.
It's our showcase for this winter, or for the winter anyway. From here, we're going to go to this shot from Stefan Picard. Stefan says, hi, Chris. Busy with the camera this past week. He says, I got Orion and Nebula with a cool effect on the tree as a car drove by and its headlights hit the tree, which caused it to appear daytime. So we've done that, Paul. We call it light painting, right? Just
Yep.
Yeah, you've done that a number of times with real good results. You just take a flashlight. If you're exposing a shot like this, take a flashlight and shine it in the area just for a couple of seconds or so, and then stop it, and you get that nice effect.
That's nice. Turned out good.
Beautiful.
Ryan, see what else you got here. Also, Rigel is beaming through the branches of the tree, kind of a fortune timing and lucky shot. Awesome. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, colors too. There's lots of color in the stars.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And we got this one. He's sending says Mars and the Pleiades as they closed in on as they closed in on each other this week, and Orion Nebula zoomed in a bit. So he's got that one right here. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Awesome.
Oh,
Thanks.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
Good stuff, Stefan.
Got the sword. Nice.
This one was sent in by David Smart. He said, this is something I found on the net in my picture, and I actually found this one on the net. We'll get to the other pictures here in a second, but Messier objects ranked by difficulty of viewing. So, wow, it's pretty little.
So if you look at the top there, it says, based on the use of a mid-range telescope, an 8-inch.
Yeah. That's a handy little chart.
That's
awesome, sure.
Very easy, moderate, hard, and very hard. I'd probably find them all with a V hard on them, but. But anyway, if you're going back to, you want to capture that, I guess you can replay the video when we're done here.
Yeah, just put it on pause and screen capture with your phone.
Yeah, awesome. Very nice. Thanks, David. And he sent us a few pictures of the sun. Oh, awesome shot.
Oh, wow. Sweet.
Beautiful.
Where's that?
He didn't
Somewhere
say
frozen.
where. Yeah, somewhere frozen. Wow.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Great shots.
That reminds me of your shots there, Chris.
Well, we didn't have that much snow today, but yeah, no, this is much nicer. My shots were way out of focus this morning because I was on a live feed trying to offer a sunrise to everybody, and I had my DSLR set up at the same time, and I was holding the cell phone and trying to click the DSLR, and everything got out of focus. And damn it! I said so. I had to. I ordered another tripod this morning for that my smartphone can mount into, so I can have that sitting by itself and then do my captures after. But anyway, all part of the learning curve.
Yeah.
Robert Gadet sent this one in. Robert sent me in 7 pictures, but Robert, I'm going to show 4 of them tonight. I want to save the other 3 for next week because it already gives me a few for next week. So we got he's got the Hyes, Pleiades, Mars, and Meteor. He says zoom in on the meteor, tumbler, or spiral meteor, he says. So we're going to zoom in just for a second, take a peek. There it is.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Real nice shot.
Nicely done.
Yeah, what a great capture.
So that is a meteor. I don't think it's a tumbler.
No, it's Meteor, the last one.
Yeah. And Mars and the Mars and the Pleiades there as well. So
No, that's good.
look at all those stars.
You keep taking pictures, and all of a sudden, wonderful things happen, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Spend enough time at it. There's another one he's got. Pick 2 Sagittarius Teapot asterism looking at the center of the Milky Way galaxy back in the summer of 2020.
Must have been through a meteor shower at the same time.
Yeah, a couple there. Here's the teapot. Here's the handle. There's the lid. There's the bottom pot. Here's the spout. And what's that stuff coming out the spout? That's the steam. That's the Milky Way. Come on, guys, you know that one.
We just wouldn't admit it in public.
Yeah, I'm not shy. Not anymore.
Who's your turn to tell it?
He sent this one to Pleiades and Mars. He's got again, so another nice capture. Of course, they're riding together most of the week now. Mars is still going to be actually, it's going to be between the Pleiades and Taurus, Aldebaran. So you're going to have and Orion, Betelgeuse. So you'll have Betelgeuse, Aldebaran, and Mars together. So 3 nice red objects. One being a planet and 2 of them being stars. So you'll be able to tell. Maybe you'll be able to tell the difference. Well, I guess you'll know where they are, but they should all appear pretty well close to the same color. So, and he sent this one in of Orion. Nice. See, there's red Betelgeuse up here in the corner. Rigel down here. Here's the Orion Nebula. Great captures, Robert.
You see the horse head too.
Well done.
Yeah, there's the horse head too. That's right.
Horse head and the flame.
There's the flame and the horse head. Cool. Well done. Alrighty, we're going to pop from there to these couple that we got from Bruce Kasuji. And I just got to find out what Bruce had said. Oh, yes. Hi, Chris. He says, I was trying again for the zodiacal light in the west, but low clouds dashed these hopes, he says. Here's a photo of Mars, Pleiades, and Taurus that I captured last night. So nice. There we are. There's the Heidi sitting there. There's Pleiades right here, and Mars, Heidi's and Taurus.
Beautiful.
And we're going to flip over to this one because he said this one was the animated,
nice.
annotated one there. So there we go. The horns and Taurus, Mars and Pleiades, Perseus.
When you're looking through the planisphere, that's kind of what you would see. They draw out the shapes for you.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier to find stuff.
I wish I could draw them on the sky. It'd be a lot easier to find this stuff.
Yeah. Put a pair of glasses on and wherever you look, it would light up.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There you go, Mike.
Yeah, go, Mike.
They already have it. You drop your phone in front, and they use it to look around the night sky.
True, that's right. Yeah.
There's a place up in Quebec that's running the whole planetarium that way. It looks pretty. It's really neat.
Isn't Tim Doucette doing that too down in the?
I think he was looking at something like that, but yeah.
National Geographic. I think they teamed up with National Geographic and they dropped their phone into this 3D headset kind of thing. And when you point your eyeballs up to the sky, it draws out the constellation for you.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that awesome?
Really cool stuff.
Okay. And anyway, thank you everybody for those photos. That's awesome to get them. Always appreciate it. I try to check for the photos by 2 p.m. on Sunday. Because by that time I have to get the rest of the show together. But if you can submit them to me anytime through the week, you can send them to this address, SundayNightAstronomyShow@gmail.com, or you can send them just to my Facebook page if you like to, if that's easier for you. We just love getting them. We love showing them, and we love seeing what other people are capturing.
Absolutely.
Guys, do you want to quickly we'll quickly take a peek at what you're showing there, at what you captured so far? And then we can we'll sign off. I know we're a little bit
go ahead, Paul.
It's 9:04, but we're still okay, I think.
I just started on a new object, so I'm not even close yet.
Here, I'll show you what I got going so far.
Okay.
Or I'm going to try. I'm going to attempt. Hide that.
What do you want for the web?
Lower the web. Okay. So what you're seeing there is a 3-minute exposure of what they call the Hickman 44 Galaxy Complex. Now you're seeing this in black and white because the camera I'm using is a one-shot color, but it has to be debayered. In other words, I have to add the color to it afterwards. So it's when you shoot them like this, you just see them in off the sensor before the color is added. But what you're seeing here basically is I'm going to brighten it up, and trust me, it'll look a lot better than this. But this just gives you an idea of what you're going to see. So there's a galaxy up here. There's an S-shaped. What'd you call that, Chris?
I think it's called a lenticular galaxy.
Lenticular, thank you. Galaxy right here, and then we have a spiral galaxy here. And these two bright dots, as you see right now, they're also galaxies. But once I actually process this, you'll be able to actually see them in the form of galaxies. Again, this is just a very, very short 3-minute exposure, but I'll have probably 7 or 8 hours on this before I'm done. And then you can start to see, I don't know what you can see at home, but there's little faint little spots all throughout. And these are all galaxies. This particular cluster is found in the constellation Leo. So between Leo and Virgo, this is where a lot of these galaxies you're going to see if you're going to do the Messier Marathon, or if you're just out looking. You want to go to a galaxy-rich area. In Leo and Virgo, that's the place to go.
Now,
So that's
Robert says, is that the Leo quintet? Is that what they might call it? I know there's a Leo triplet. I'm not sure if it's a Leo quintet or not. It might be.
No, it's called Hickman 44.
Hickman 44.
In fact, these are all NGC targets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like this is the stuff that you're capturing, and I mean, you just point your telescope in that direction, and you're going to pick up, this.
Yeah.
This is what you get everywhere you look out there.
Yeah, this is like just one, like if you had a telescope and you had the right eyepiece in your scope, you'd be able to see. And actually, to be honest with you, it would look similar to this.
Right.
It's going to be black and white because you're not going to excite your eyes to see the colors. And depending on how dark the sky is, this is kind of what you would look like looking through a telescope.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll share just a quick thing here before we go. Entire screen. If I can get it. I'll try to drag this down. We're back looking at Stellarium quickly for a second, but I got galaxies turned on here, and if we zoom in a little bit, this is what's so interesting about this time of year. So here's Leo, and there's Virgo in the eastern part of the sky right now. So if I just kind of zoom in here a little bit, with galaxies turned on, they should start popping out there. So look at what happens. Like Paul's shooting up in Leo right now, but when we look in this area between Leo and Virgo, this is called the realm of the galaxies. So all of these oblong circles we see here are actually galaxies. And I haven't set this up to a very high level, but the blow dryer, what's a blow dryer? I don't think I've ever...
Yeah.
Any idea what a blow dryer is, Paul?
Over here to the silver galaxy. There's so much stuff.
Paul shot this before, the Markarian's chain. There's the eyes. But I mean, there's just so much in this part of the sky. So even if you point binoculars in this part of the sky, you're going to see these little tiny fuzzy patches. A medium-sized telescope will reveal a lot of this stuff to you. So there's the area that you want to kind of concentrate on at this time of year, is right in here between the head of Virgo and the tail of Leo. The realm of the galaxies. We're looking back into to deep space in that direction. It's said that if you put your thumb out on that part of the sky, you'll cover 10,000 galaxies with your thumbnail.
Wow.
Just wanted to show that quickly. So Paul is shooting in around that area. He's in Leo right now, but that's that area between Leo and Virgo is very, very, very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike, have you got something before we sign off, or?
No, I moved.
Okay.
Just set up on another object, so it's just picking it up.
Well, we're going to let Paul do his 8-hour capture here tonight, and Paul's going to probably share that with us all tomorrow.
I'll put it on.
You'll be up all night working on it, so.
Yeah. I didn't get any sleep last night, so I figured, well, I might as well do it again tonight. Yeah. It's just rare, clear nights, and tonight actually, the sky's actually darker tonight than it was last night. So. Yeah. So if anybody wants to go out and look or capture, tonight's a beautiful night for it.
And that's why this Messier Marathon. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the moon is down too. So.
At least 4:30. So.
Yeah.
You have all night if you want it.
And that's why Messier Marathon is so important next weekend, is because their time changes too, I believe, right after that, right? So we're going to be I think we spring ahead next weekend, May or on the 20th, I think it is. We spring ahead. So that 13th, 14th weekend, they kind of like to wait until a little bit later in the month or the 1st of April. But this is new moon, and this is when the time's going to change. So it's probably a good opportunity to be out to take a look. So anyway, okay, so that's our show for tonight, folks. We packed in another hour or more, just sitting here chatting. How you guys do this? I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. Okay, so in closing tonight, our special thanks again. Okay. Should I start over? Okay. So in closing tonight, again, thanks for your continued support. I don't know why I put up with these guys, but they are here. So thanks again, Rosanna, as well, for your continued support. Your talks are always very much appreciated.
Really good.
Thanks as well to all the great folks at Astronomy Plus for sponsoring our weekly program here as well. And remember, we do love getting your photos, so send them into SundayNightAstronomyShow@gmail.com, and we'd be happy to put them on our next broadcast. We're also looking for suggestions for topics for future shows. I am actually making up a list. I think it's 8 topics so far that people have suggested for us. So we are going to build on those over the next number of weeks. That's great, because if these are why we talk about this, is because we want your input back again, so that you'll come back and join us for topics that you might be interested in. So just keep suggesting to me. We love to get the suggestions. So send those as well to our same address, SundayNightAstronomyShow@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to try to make that happen for you. We also ask that if you enjoyed the content here tonight and you joined us from YouTube, but please consider giving us a like and subscribing to our channel. And please let your family and friends know as well that we are here every Sunday night at the same bat time, same bat channel, 8 p.m. Atlantic time, Atlantic Savings Time very soon, to help educate you and entertain you a bit. Well, we entertain ourselves. I don't know if we entertain anybody else, but every once in a while you'll see an LOL on there, so you're thinking somebody's laughing at us, so that's good. But education is more what it's all about. So anyway, for now then, from Paul, Mike, and I, hope you guys all get out and do your Messier challenge this week. If not, just get out and take a look around. Grab your binoculars. It's a great time to be looking up in the evening sky. The moon's gone. Great time to see all those faint, fuzzy objects. So for now then, from Mike and Paul and I, stay safe, everyone. We wish you all clear skies, and we hope to see you again here next week. And remember, as we like to say here, guys, keep your scopes pointed up. Have a great week, everyone. Good night. And cue the music. This is your cue, Paul. There we go. How do the news guys do? They go. Okay. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week. Stay safe.